Well, how y'all doing? I'm so proud to have y'all stop by and visit again today. We're just going to have us a little coffee chat. It is Saturday after all, so let's right smack dab in the middle of the weekend. Got something to show you. Check this out. Hey, what do you think about that, huh? Got my Santa Claus outfit. So proud of it. Buddy of mine, Mexican friend of mine, he bought it for me. I'm gonna be playing Santa Claus at his the restaurants where he manages. They're having them employee get together on the 23rd of December, so I'm gonna play Santa Claus to the little children. I'm excited to do that. I love doing stuff for kids. Speaking of doing stuff for kids, hell, I've done accumulated about a dozen bicycles I found, in my favorite honey hole, and I've decided if they're gonna throw them away like that, I'm gonna fix them up. I'm gonna give them to children. I won't be able to have nothing done by this Christmas season, but hopefully by next year I'll have several bicycles that I can share with the people that need them. Pardon me. I was just about I fell asleep this morning waiting on that winner of the 4500 video to upload. It takes a while to upload, I tell you. I don't know why my computer's so slow. I reckon it just takes after me. Anyway, let's see some of the exciting news we've got. Well, because you saw my Santa suit, you know now that I'm all geared up, ready to make them announcements or read from the nice book to the kiddies. So get your grandchildren's names in, get your children's names in, your nieces, nephews, neighbor kids, whatever, anybody you get to watch the video. Excuse me again. My goodness. Anyway, I'm all excited now. For those of you that hadn't heard, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dress up like Santa Claus, and I'm going to sit in front of my daughter's Christmas tree. She got her tree looking so pretty that I'm going to sit in front of it and have a nice, pretty background, and Santa Claus is going to talk to the children. Like Timothy Tucker out there in Idaho. Hey Timothy, hey TNT, you've been a good boy for your mama? You've been helping take care of your little sister? Well, I sure hope so. Your mama said you've been a pretty good boy, so we'll see what I keep finding in this sack to give you. I'm coming to see you. And gosh almighty. And anyway, you can just, you can tell me, you tell me whatever information you want to share with me, first and last name, first name only, first name, where you from, the whole bit. I don't care. It's what you tell me to share, okay? And there ain't gonna be no children on the naughty list. All children got to be on the nice list. But now, wives, husbands, parents, any adults that you want to put on the naughty list, I'm having a video on the naughty list too. Like Ethel, you out there in Mesquite, Texas, you've been eating too many damn frijoles. Your ass has done got big enough you can't even get through the door without turning sideways. You need to slow down on them damn beans, you hear me? So whatever you tell Santa Claus to say is what's going to be said on the naughty video, alright? And I'll put a disclaimer on, there ain't no children supposed to see that. So that'll be right there on the beginning of it so you don't get confused. Anyway, all this information that you need to get to me needs to go to this email address right here, called PawPaw's@yahoo.com. Okay, so send in your Santa requests. You know, call PawPaw's@yahoo.com. Send in your Santa request for the children on the nice list, for the people on the naughty list, and another thing. Remember, we're having that. Make sure that gets to me by the 15th of December, because I plan on making these videos on the 16th or 17th. Okay, and one other thing. Remember, we've got a men's shirt, a shirt to give to a man, a shirt to give to a woman, for their entry into the Doing It Cheap contest. As in, this is what here's an example of what I do that I consider doing it cheap. You know, some money saving or labor saving device or idea or whatever, anything you can get across with a photograph. And you can just email me that, email me your photograph. If it needs to be more than one photograph, that's fine. Just email it to me with a description so that I can, you know, film like I'm doing right here, show the photographs to you, and you know, we're going to have a video that's going to have all these entries in it, and then people are going to vote on that, who they think did the you know, the best at representing Doing It Cheap. Now, if I don't get no ladies entries, I'm gonna give 2 shirts to the men. So ladies, I haven't received an entry from women yet. So heck, if they don't but one enter, you know you're gonna win. So one of you needs to enter. So any ideas for you know, something that represents the whole idea behind doing it cheap? And we'll get that going. Oh my goodness, let's see. I do want to share with you how I've cooked a turkey over the years and years. But I tell you what, I was really impressed with that oilless turkey fryer. Man, that was something. I never would imagine it'd work like that. And like I said, I could put my hand right over the top of it, didn't feel no heat. But until you got down there, and by God, that sucker was hot. Must be to cook a turkey, you know, a pound every 10 minutes. Anyhow, not a whole lot going on as far as stuff I wanted to share with you. I've had some people say, "Pawpaw, you all right? I ain't heard from you in 2 or 3 days. You okay?" I really appreciate that. I do. But I don't want to just spit out videos that aren't at all interesting. If it's not interesting, people ain't going to want to watch. And I mean, I need the views. I need people to watch and subscribe and all that. But if I just put out some kind of stupid ass video that somebody's going to say that's a complete waste of my time, you know, I'm afraid I'm going to run folks off. So I'd much rather give you quality instead of quantity. Heck, I've already got this is going to be video number 252. 252 videos. That's craziness in a year, or a little over a year. But Lord have mercy, I am so excited about all these subscribers. It was a week ago whenever I had the contest for 4,500 subscribers. You know, it ended on a Friday night. Of course, this is Saturday now. And here in the past week, I've picked up 250 subscribers. I'm at 4,750 right now. 3 more than I had just an hour or 2 ago when I was filming the winter video. Please share my videos. Tell folks about my channel. I'd really appreciate it. If there's one that you like especially, share it on your Facebook page or whatever. And if at all possible, tell your friends to share it and help my channel grow. I'd really appreciate it. Don't cost you a thing. And speaking about helping a channel grow, folks, I'm telling you, old Gene Chambers, he's doing a fine job. For those of you that didn't see the winner of 4,500 subscriber drawing, let me tell you what Gene has said. I'm really excited for him. Let's see here. He says, "Hi Bob, I wanted to let you know that so far the number of toys that went out." This is 7 hours ago he said this. 9 crayon trucks, 15 spin tops, 4 cars, 20 honey dippers, 2 trains. He says, "I'm in the process of making more now and appreciate all the subscribers and the ones that sent donations. Myself and the children appreciate it. Thanks, Gene." Well, you know what? You could sure, it would really magnify any possible giving that you could do here. You know, you think about it. If you sent Gene $5, just $5, he could buy a 2x6, probably 10 foot long, or maybe a couple of 8 foot 2x4s, and he could make some of them toys right there. And you realize that you could go to a store and spend $5 and get one little wooden car, maybe that size right there. But if you send $5 to Gene Chambers, you end up with 8 feet of wooden toys. You know, you think about that. That is so much. I mean, your giving just be magnified so much. If help the man out, because he's helping children, and that's what better thing can a person do with their money than help children? I think it's fantastic what he's doing, and I don't have my shop set up right now to where I could do any kind of thing like that, so I'm just trying to spread the message this way. But send a few dollars to Gene. Help him buy some lumber. That's all. I mean, if you send him $5 and he bought an 8 foot 2x4, and a car is, let's say, 4 inches long, and you need another 4 inches to make 4 wheels. Well, shoot, there's 12 cars. You know, there's a dozen toys out of that $5. So, you know, I hate to sound like, you know, these people on TV begging for your money. I ain't asking for it. I'm just saying, hey, let's help children out and send one of my subscribers some money. You know, he ain't making nothing off of that. He's just doing it because he loves children. And man, I wish there was more people out there that wanted to spend their time doing something, expressing love, than all this damn protesting and hate and all that. Wouldn't it be a better world if everybody, instead of getting all bent out of shape and raising hell about you know, things they ain't happy with, wouldn't it be great if people just took the time to try to do something nice? And that's what he's doing. And I've never met him. I've never spoken to him on telephone. But I've watched a few of his videos, and I've seen what he does, and I just think that right there tells me he's a good feller. And this right here is his email that you could PayPal a few dollars to. And this right here is the link to where you can go and subscribe to his channel and watch his videos. The Santa's Helper video, I think it's only like a minute and 15 seconds or something. He shows off some of the stuff he's making for kids. And it'd be kind of cool. I've helped, my wife and I, we've helped folks. And I would like to share, if you don't mind for a moment, I would like to share a Christmas story with you. I realize this is just 2 days past Thanksgiving, but it's the holiday season, as you can tell by my charming hat. But some of you are going to call me a liar. Some of you are going to say it never happened. Some of you are not going to believe, and that's okay. Because if somebody told me this story, I wouldn't believe it either. But my wife will back it up, and my wife ain't got nothing to prove nobody. On or around 1985, my wife and I were attending Bethel College in McKenzie, Tennessee. We were living in a little bitty tiny house trailer on a campus. That one of them little 12 by 50 foot, maybe 12 by 56 feet. It wasn't very big. It had a bedroom at one end, that was ours, and then you come up in the hallway and there's another bedroom there, you know, off in the hallway, and it had the kitchen on the other end. And my parents drove up from where they lived, and they spent Christmas with us, but they didn't probably stay 45 minutes. They come, they brought my at that time I only had one child, or maybe my second daughter, my second child was born, but regardless, they brought up some Christmas presents to give to my children, and of course me and my wife, and we didn't have much, but we were going to college, we didn't need a whole lot. And they didn't stay very long at all. And they said, well, we got to get going. It's over 100 miles to get back home. Okay. And I looked at my wife after they left. I said, you know, it just don't feel like Christmas. There wasn't no snow on the ground. We had our little tree there, but you know, we hadn't been over to nobody's house. We didn't have anybody to socialize with. You know, it was just the two of us, and like I said, we was going to college. And she worked at a bakery in a big, large supermarket. And the management of this big supermarket would hire me to do maintenance type things. I'd started my own little home repair business, you know, painting houses, repairing this, you know, replacing a floor, just whatever I could to make a dollar, because, you know, we was going to college and, you know, you gotta have a little bit of income. So, you know, and that's what I did. Well, and because she worked at the grocery store and I come in there and did these maintenance things, and I got to know the management. When they were stocking shelves, if they dropped a bag of flour on the floor and it split open, you know, a little split in it, then they'd set that back. And if they dropped a can and got a little dent on it, they'd set it back. And then they'd go in there in the meat department and they would wrap that flour or that bag of sugar or that bag of cornmeal or that bag of whatever. They'd wrap it in that plastic, you know, like the meat department has. And I would buy this food from them like 10 cents an item or a nickel for a can or whatever. The idea being, you know, look, I just dropped this can, I just dented it, botulism hasn't set in yet, you know, and you know, there was nothing wrong with the dry goods. And I would buy this, you know, for pennies on the dollar. Well, because my wife worked at the bakery, I could get some in buckets that the donut mix came in, the powdered mix, food grade buckets with lids. And I would have, in this little bitty house trailer, I had 5-gallon buckets that I filled with sugar, flour, cornmeal, beans, whatever, okay? I had these 5-gallon buckets sitting in my little bitty house full. And when the meat department would get ready to say, okay, that steak is starting to turn color, we're going to have to grind it up, make ground beef out of it, they would sell me those steaks at hamburger prices because they wouldn't have to do any labor, wouldn't have to waste any more material wrapping it, none of that kind of stuff. So I would buy steaks at hamburger price. Well, a little 12 wide house trailer don't have a whole lot of cabinet space. And our refrigerator was one where you opened the door and then inside was that little freezer compartment with the plastic door in there, you know. So it wasn't a very big refrigerator, but I had her stuff full. I had little steak stuff all up in there. And I told my wife, I said, you know, it just don't feel like Christmas. All my cabinets were full of canned goods. I mean, you could not put a can anywhere, underneath the sink, above the sink. You know, I made sure my family didn't go hungry. So I told my wife, I said, honey, it just don't feel like Christmas. She says, well, what do you mean? I said, I'd like to do something for somebody. She said, what do you want to do? And I said, you know Calvin? And Calvin was this gentleman. He was approximately 62 to 65 year old. And he had a heart problem at the time. He couldn't do much, but he was the security guard on campus. And Bethel College was a Cumberland Presbyterian school. It was a very small school at the time. Now it's called Bethel University. I don't know how big it's gotten in the past 31 years. But, or I graduated in 87, I think. So, you know, almost 30 years. But this gentleman, he couldn't do much. You know, I tried to help him out and give him a few dollars, let him help do some painting. And it put a strain on his heart to stand on a ladder. I'm talking about just climb up 1 or 2 steps. It would cause a strain on him. He'd have to rest for days. So I told my wife, I said, I want to help out Calvin. She says, okay. So I grabbed grocery bags and I filled grocery bags full of canned goods, took steaks out of my freezer. I took, you know, bags like this right here and filled them full of salt. Not salt, but flour. Filled bags full of cornmeal and sugar and stuff. And I took to this gentleman's home 5 grocery bags full of groceries and 3 cardboard boxes. And I took it to his home. He lived in the government housing in the town there. And the old man was just, you know, beside himself. He was so grateful. And it was making me cry. And as I was getting ready to leave, he said, Bob, he said, God will bless you for helping poor people. And I said, Calvin, you ain't poor if you got friends. And when my wife and I got back to the trailer, there was nothing missing. I opened those 5-gallon buckets and they were full. I opened my cabinets and they were full. I opened up my freezer. You couldn't put a piece of hamburger meat in my freezer. Nothing was missing. And sometimes when I get to where I don't believe in a higher power, or don't feel like there's a higher power, I try to remind myself of what happened back in 1985, 1986. About 1985. It was a very moving experience. It was a very strange yet calming experience. And my wife and I just looked at each other. We just couldn't believe it. But it's true. So, this holiday season, let's remember that it's better to give. And I had been rewarded several times uh, that year, helping that old man. He would come by and he'd be, looking after things. And I was in Army National Guard, and I'd come back and I'd slip him a $20 bill for keeping an eye on my house and looking after my wife and children. And I did home repair work, and I'd give him a $20 bill. The next day I'd get a phone call, somebody needed $200 something worth of work done. I remember giving him 2 pounds of steak one day, and the next day I want a 20-pound ham at the grocery store. And you can say this is all coincidence. You can say whatever you want to. I don't care. I'm just telling you what happened to me. And after we had made that trip to his house and shared all that groceries with him, the next day I was offered a job to add on to a doctor's house, a $25,000 job. It wasn't all profit, but it was a damn good job, good project. So folks, I do believe there's a higher power out there of some kind. Whether it's who we call God, or we just have people, somebody looking out for us. Don't know. But during this Christmas season, this holiday season, let's all take a minute to reflect on how lucky we all are to have what we have. I mean, look, you're sitting here watching this video either on a computer or on a cell phone, and there's no such thing, 30 years ago. So let's be thankful for what we have. There's an old saying, I used to feel sorry for myself because I had no shoes, until I met a man that had no feet. So, but let's count our blessings and be thankful for what we have. We just celebrated Thanksgiving Day, and it was a day to give thanks. It wasn't a day to go shopping, although many of us might have. But it's funny, we take a holiday to show thanks for what we have, and then have to rush right out there the very next day or that night to buy more shit. Folks, do something nice for somebody. It'll come back to you. Have a wonderful day and a better tomorrow. Bye.